When did Jackie ever find time to sleep? Over the first 3 episodes of our Jackie Wilson miniseries, we've seen Jackie do a lot of different things in a relatively short amount of time. He's been running them streets ever since he was a young boy. He was asking girls for kisses, singing on street corners, and drinking alcohol at the age of 10. He was singing in nightclubs, getting at least 15 girls pregnant, and dropping out of school by the age of 16. He had gotten married, been stabbed by a prostitute, and joined a national singing group by the time he was 19. He'd left the group, gone solo, found a manager, then had that manager down on him the night before he was due to sign his contract with Brunswick Record. He'd appeared on national TV, he toured across the country, and he had at least 6 children, including 2 side babies. He was just getting started. What was next? How about baby number 7? Jackie had an affair with a married white woman, Linda Ciccone. They initially connected when she wrote Jackie a fan letter. After he read it, Jackie invited her to one of his shows in St. Louis. Lynn was infatuated with him. And, of course, true to Jackie's nature, they became lovers. How infatuated was this woman with Jackie? She started using up all her vacation time that she had at work so that she could follow Jackie around the country and hook up with him in various cities wherever he was performing. Now, when it came to having sex, Jackie didn't shoot many blanks. He also didn't seem to care much about having safe sex. As a result, it was only a matter of time before Jackie got Lynn pregnant. Meet baby number 7. In April of 1963, Lynn had a daughter named Gina. Gina would be 13 years old before she found out that Jackie Wilson was her real father. Jackie would go on to have another affair with a woman named Alona, who was the daughter of a notorious New York mobster. This mobster was one of the members of the mafia that had a stake in Jackie's career. Now, at this point, we need a scorecard to keep up with all the affairs that Jackie's had and continues to have. To that end, he would have still another affair with a Cajun voodoo woman from New Orleans named Fadwa Peace. Wilson reportedly had 2 children with her. We've introduced a lot of new names that Jackie added to his list of women, but let's not forget about Harlene Harris. At the same time, Jackie was still messing with her too. He also had an affair with still another woman named Juanita Jones. We mentioned Juanita in the earlier stage of one of our stories and let you know to put that name in the back of your mind because it will be coming up again. Juanita was a very jealous woman, and she was also very much in love with Jackie. That's a very dangerous combination. How would it play out? Here's a little bit more information about Miss Juanita Jones. Jones was a former WAC or Women's Army Corps in the U.S. Army, and she had received weapons training. Uh-oh. We're not telling you about this information about weapons training because we're trying to give you tidbits about her life. We're telling you this because something's about to happen. What is it? Well, Juanita Jones was about to put her weapons training to use. On the morning of February 15th, 1961, at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, Jackie and his main side chick, Harlene, returned to their apartment in Manhattan. What they didn't know is that Jones was hiding outside and waiting for them, and she wasn't alone. She had a pistol hidden in her pants. Jones jumped out and confronted Jackie as he and Harlene were about to go into the apartment. Then Jones let the hammer go and shot Jackie 2 times. She got him once in the abdomen and shot him once in the butt. Now, despite these injuries, Jackie managed to get the gun away from Jones. Then he staggered down 6 flights of stairs to the street. As he was struggling, a cop saw him and rushed him to the hospital. Now, once he got to the hospital, Jackie was just a black dude in 1961. Nobody knew that he was the Jackie Wilson, so they just treated him like some regular black dude. Guess what happened? They made him sit in the emergency room for a long time. Anybody that's been to the emergency room knows exactly what I'm talking about. So imagine at this time when you have racism at play, it's going to sit out there even longer than you normally would. Now, for once, Nat Tarnopol was actually on Jackie's side, and he did something that worked in Jackie's favor. Nat found out what had happened to Jackie, and he got his mafia connections involved. They showed up at the hospital and insisted that the hospital get their best doctors to take care of Jackie. Jackie was operated on, and he had the bullet that was in his butt removed. The second bullet, however, was close to his spine, and doctors determined that it was too dangerous for them to remove. As a result, they left the bullet right where it was, and that bullet stayed there for the rest of Jackie's life. In addition to the injuries we already described, Jackie also had to have one of his kidneys removed. Ultimately, Wilson was in critical condition for 6 days, but he would make a full recovery. So after all that, what happened next? Following the shooting, the police apprehended Juanita and took her into custody. Next, in a move that would never happen the way that the police handle these type of cases now, the cops allowed the press to have immediate access to Jones after she was arrested. Jones told the press that she was in love with Jackie and that she had no intentions of harming him. Now, how did Jackie and his team respond to what could potentially be an embarrassing thing for their client? How did they respond to these comments? In a scenario that seems laughable based on what we know about Jackie and his life, and also serves as another example of not being able to believe everything you see or read in the media, is what came next. Nat Tarnopol determined that the best thing for Jackie to do was to lean into the version of the story that Juanita Jones had already presented. So as a result, publicly, in order to preserve Jackie's reputation as a devoted husband and father, a story was concocted that Jones had come to Jackie's apartment not to confront Jackie, but to eliminate herself. When Wilson tried to take the gun from her to save her from self-harm, he got shot. In other words, they tried to paint a private heel as a public hero. Juanita Jones was never charged for shooting Jackie. It was just like it never happened. For his part, Jackie took the whole situation in stride. He even joked about having an extra butthole as a result of the shooting. Above everything, Jackie was anxious to get back to performing. After all, he was making about $350,000 a year at the time, and if he wasn't performing, he wasn't earning. In spite of his injuries, guess what wasn't affected in the immediate aftermath of Jackie's surgery? His sex drive. When Frida made it to the hospital to see him, he called on her to fulfill her wifely duties. This dude had a one-track mind, didn't he? Regardless of whatever else was going on, he was going to get it in. That probably wasn't the only time he did it in the hospital, because he was there for 6 weeks. He was then finally discharged and allowed to go home. While Jackie was in the hospital, some things started happening that he probably would not have been happy with. First, his wife Frida had been staying in his apartment to be near her husband while he recuperated in the hospital. Why pay for a hotel? He had this apartment that was free and clear. He was in the hospital, so there was, Needless to say, she was not happy with what she saw. Harleen Harris was living with Jackie when he got shot. When Frida came to the apartment, of course she saw numerous signs that Harris had been living there. What did she do? Some of y'all know what she did. She proceeded to destroy compromising pictures, we'll say, that she found of Jackie and Harleen together. She also threw Harleen's clothes out into the street. From Jackie's angle, while dealing with an angry wife who found out he'd been living with his side piece was a scary situation to have to face, Jackie discovered something shortly after leaving the hospital that may have been even worse. He was broke. Jackie was not good with money. His idea of investments were fur coats and diamond jewelry. At best, his idea of handling money was to hide it in safety deposit boxes in the Diamond District in New York. The mob had introduced him to this area of town. The financial arrangements that he had made with Nat Tarnopol were now fully revealing themselves to be terrible decisions on Jackie's part. First, it was about this time that the IRS seized his home in Detroit. Both Nat Tarnopol and Jackie's accountant were being paid to handle things like this for Jackie. However, Jackie's taxes were left unpaid. At the time, remember just a few minutes ago, we talked about Jackie earning about $350,000 a year. But somehow he was nearly penniless. Now fortunately, Jackie was able to make arrangements with the IRS regarding the taxes. But he was then forced to buy the home back at auction for more than he had paid for it the first time. Despite the seriousness of his injuries and the long period of inactivity as a result, Jackie literally could not afford to take more time off. Around 3 months after he was shot, Jackie was performing again on national TV on the Ed Sullivan Show. Alright, well, we will go ahead and stop it right there for episode 4. We appreciate you guys taking the time to check us out. We appreciate you for going on this Jackie Wilson ride with us. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and do everything we need you to do with these videos, including coming back for number 5. Thank you. See you soon.